The arrow enters through his eye slit and he doesn't scream. The shaft punches through the back of his skull, and he drops 60 pounds of Italian plate armor folding into French mud like a puppet with cut strings. His name was Jean de Carouges, a 43 years old veteran of 12 campaigns, father of 4. He's been dead for 6 seconds and he's still standing. The bodies are packed so tight around him there's nowhere to fall. This is minute 47 of the Battle of Agincourt, and it's about to get worse. What's about to happen here shouldn't be possible. 20,000 French soldiers, the best knights in Europe, men who've spent their entire lives training to kill, versus 6,000 English, starving, diseased, some of them actively shitting themselves from dysentery as they stand in formation. The smart money says this ends in 30 minutes. Total French victory, the English king captured or killed, his army annihilated. The smart money is about to lose everything.
If you want to hear more stories like this, battles where strategy defeated strength, where the impossible became real, where one decision changed the course of nations, then subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter of history.
On October 25, 1415, a strip of farmland between 2 forests, it rained all night. Those fields, freshly plowed and ready for winter planting. Imagine wet concrete, but it moves, pulls at you, and every step costs energy you don't have. That's where they're going to die. That's the trap, and the French don't even know they've walked into it. Both armies just stand there for hours. The French are waiting for the English to attack. Why wouldn't they? The English are desperate, trapped. This is their last chance to do something heroic before they starve. But Henry, 29 years old, face scarred from an arrow that nearly killed him at 16. Henry doesn't move, because time is on their side, not his. The French have supply lines, food, wine. They can stand here for days if they want. Henry's men are eating their horses.
This cold will kill us. Quiet. Eat this. God help us.
So Henry forces the issue and orders his line forward. Maybe 100 yards, just enough. Just enough to say, "We're here. Come take us." 5,000 longbowmen raised their weapons. Bows nearly 6 feet tall, arrows a full yard long, iron-tipped, designed to punch through mail at 250 yards. One command: loose! The sound is like wind tearing through a canyon. 30,000 arrows per minute. A cloud of death so dense it darkens the sky. French knights look up. Too late. The first wave hits like hail made of knives. Horses collapse mid-stride. Arrows through their necks, their eyes, their hearts. Knights topple. The perfect formation's months of training, decades of tradition start to shred. But these are French knights. Pride is armor they wear thicker than steel, and they charge anyway. Cavalry charges only work if the ground cooperates. The ground does not cooperate. Horses hit the mud at full gallop, and it's like hitting a wall of wet sand. They stumble and they fall. They throw their rider's face first into earth so thick it pours into helmets, into mouths, into lungs. Men are drowning on a battlefield in France on October 1415, and the arrows keep coming. The cavalry that reaches the English line, maybe a quarter of what started, crashes into a forest of wooden stakes. Horses impale themselves while riders spill into the killing zone where English men-at-arms are waiting with hammers and axes. This is not a battle, it's a slaughter. The cavalry breaks, flees, leaves a carpet of dead and dying behind them. The French commander's watch has this disaster unfold and send in the infantry. Thousands of men in full plate armor, each one worth more than a village, each one trained since childhood to kill. They begin the march forward. 200 yards doesn't sound like much. You're wearing 60 pounds of metal, the mud is ankle deep, then knee deep. Every step is a negotiation. You're breathing through a slit in your helmet. The world is reduced to a narrow band of vision and the sound of your own gasping. Arrows are falling. Not the distant whistle of arrows at range, the meaty thunk of arrows at close range punching through gaps in your armor. Through your shoulder joint, your elbow, your throat. Men around you are dropping, you step on them because you can't see the ground. You feel bodies shifting under your boots, and by the time you reach the English line, you're exhausted. Oxygen deprived, your weapon feels like it weighs 100 pounds. While the English are fresh, rested, and waiting. The French infantry hits the center of the English line like a wave. For 60 seconds it looks like numbers might win. The English give ground step by step, and they're being pushed back toward their own longbowmen. This is the moment where the French win. Except Henry planned this. The longbowmen on both flanks have been waiting. As the French pack tighter into the center, trying to crush through, the bowmen moved in, they swing around the flanks. Arrows come from the sides now, point blank. No arc, no distance to bleed velocity. Just iron shafts at 200 feet per second punching sideways through French armor. The longbowmen fire until their quivers are empty. Then they drop their bows and pick up mallets, hatchets, and meat cleavers stolen from the baggage train. Then they charge into the French flanks. The French are in a box, surrounded on three sides. So tightly packed they can't raise their weapons and can't turn. Can't even retreat because their own reinforcements are pushing from behind. The battlefield becomes a meat grinder. Men slip in the blood-mud mixture and disappear under the boots of their own allies. French nobles, dukes, counts, men whose ransoms could buy castles are being beaten to death with hammers. Henry is in the center of it. A French duke breaks through, swings a poleaxe at the king's head. The blade connects, dents Henry's crown. For one moment, the entire battle hangs on whether that blow killed the English king. But it didn't. Henry's bodyguards kill the duke and Henry keeps fighting.
The king's rest!
His men see this. If the king won't break, they won't break. By mid-morning, the French assault disintegrates. Thousands are dead while thousands more are wounded, captured, or running. Then comes the nightmare. A shout from the English rear. We're under attack. Then chaos, confusion, erupts. Someone raided the baggage train and now panic spreads through exhausted men that a fresh French force is hitting them from behind. Henry looks at the thousands of French prisoners his men have taken. Professional soldiers still in armor, if they rearm and they rejoin the fight, his exhausted army will be slaughtered. He makes a calculation, cold, mathematical, and brutal. Kill them, he shouted. His men don't move. You don't kill prisoners because prisoners are ransoms. Prisoners are how you get rich from a battle like this. Kill them, now. They obey. Hundreds of French nobles' men who survived the battle, who surrendered honorably, are executed while some are wounded, and can't even stand, but it doesn't matter. By the time someone realizes the rear attack was nothing, just a minor raid, already driven off, hundreds are already dead. The remaining French army, watching this massacre from a distance, withdraws. They've seen enough. When the sun sets on Agincourt, the numbers are obscene. French dead, somewhere between 6 and 10,000. The flower of French nobility, entire family lines erased in a single afternoon. English dead, maybe 600. These numbers shouldn't exist. This outcome shouldn't be possible. The French learned something that day, something England would forget in their own time. Soldier count doesn't matter, expensive armor doesn't matter, and noble bloodlines don't matter. When you fight the ground itself, the ground always wins. Walk those fields today.
Ici que la bataille a eu lieu.
Incroyable, tant d'histoires dans ces champs paisibles.
You're walking on bones, thousands of them. Knights who drowned in mud, nobles beaten to death by peasants with hammers, prisoners executed because one panicked shout turned mercy into murder. That's Agincourt. Not glory, not honor. Just mud and corpses, and a king who knew that victory doesn't care about your plans.